don't be afraid to have others around you who are good at what you're not good at.
Welcome back to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Shahid Durrani, the show where we dive into the minds of high-performing entrepreneurs, innovators, and world-class leaders. If you are someone who's always looking to grow, push limits, think bigger, you're in the right place. Today's guest is someone who saw an opportunity in the beauty industry and built something truly special. Danielle Correia. She is the founder of Sugaring LA, a brand that's redefining hair removal with a natural approach. She's built a movement with this idea, one that's about confidence, sustainability, and doing things differently. And we love that here. So welcome to our show, Danielle.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So I know we were chit-chatting beforehand, and you mentioned something that I think it should be on the show that a lot of people might not realize. Many of your franchisees are men.
Yes, they are. We definitely.
And what was the reason why they became? Can you share that as well?
I can. They were men in tech, and their jobs were replaced by AI. They saw that their wives were still going to get these beauty services and different treatments, and they're like, okay, I'm going to look for an opportunity in this sector, because a lot of them had their careers for about 20, 30 years. And so really it's like kind of the next opportunity for them. And it's been actually wonderful because they have wonderful business acumen and they've been in business for a long time and are all professionals. So it's been really neat to see that shift for them, going from corporate life and going into entrepreneurial in business for themselves, probably in an industry that they never thought they would be in.
Yeah. Bless you for bringing this to people, because we need more of these opportunities out there for people. A lot of people are just stuck in their head. They're just stuck in the compulsive thinking or the overthinking, and they lack the action taking. And that's what we're doing here with the show. We're bringing guests like yourself, is to wake them up a little bit, give them a budge and push them into action, right? Because when they see people like you did it, and you're pioneering this ancient art of sugaring. Like, this has been done for, I believe, thousands of years, but you could correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, it was Cleopatra was really the first beauty queen.
Yeah. So what initially drew you to this method, and how do you envision it in fitting into the market for the future?
Yeah, gosh, I look at it like we're the Whole Foods of hair removal. At some point, the goal is to break up with waxing, and people will never wax again once they try sugaring, because there's no chemicals. It's literally a ball of sugar, lemon, and water. And when I learned about this technique years ago, I was like, this is amazing. You can't hurt anybody.
How did you learn it?
Learn them. I learned, gosh, years ago. I won't date myself, but I was in esthetician school, and someone came in and introduced us to the basic technique, and I was like, this is amazing. And I was in school, so I had all these people to practice on. And when I got out, I was very confident in my skills, and I knew this was something that nobody was really doing, and it was a big opportunity in the market. And I moved to Charleston, South Carolina on a whim, and just rented a little room and put an ad in the little black book in the newspaper. And after 2 years, I sold my little one-room studio, just me and my clientele list, for $50,000 in my early 20s. I was like, that was amazing.
That's good.
Yeah. It was great. And then the rest is history. I moved over to Santa Monica, started sugaring out of my apartment, and I'd have people coming at 7 o'clock in the morning before work every 20 minutes for their Brazilians.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any locations in Canada?
We do not. We do not have any locations in Canada, but I do have a friend who has a few locations in Canada.
Oh, but they're not your brand?
They're not my brand, no. But she has her own sugaring business.
Are you going to expand here?
I have not thought about it. I think we'll probably focus on the States for now. And then
the States is huge.
It's huge. It's huge, right? Yeah, and then once we build up the team and the opportunity arises, I definitely would, because there are no sugaring franchises in Canada.
Remember me, though.
I will. I will.
Okay. You built this ground up. It obviously requires some sort of foundational passion, some mindset towards helping people and getting this out there. Can you share any moment where you realize that this is going to be successful and you need to move on it? Was there an internal movement about that?
Yeah, I think I always knew it would be really successful because it was effortless for me to build this.
Yeah.
And maybe because I
always work out good, right?
Effortless. No, I give 110% when I do stuff. And
of course.
And it just kept building. And I wasn't looking to open more studios. People would be like, please come open one over here in Manhattan Beach, or please come open one east of the 405. And then my studio that in Santa Monica was so busy. And then I would just, okay, let me do that. And so I just I don't have any fear. And I would, usually it's a great thing, right? But sometimes I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of healthy fear I see now, but I also see that paralysis of analysis in a lot of people. That was for me. It was like, I got a feeling, I got a gut. I know I'm great at this, and I know people love this, and it's going to do great. If you can keep that positive mindset and keep putting the work into it, it's going to happen. And it was like, it was word of mouth too. Like, we were all built on word of mouth. And I was even in Carlsbad the other day. We were doing some training, and I was like, how'd you hear about it? She said, oh, my friend. I drove all the way here from Temecula, which is an hour away. And it's just so neat to really see how much people love it and how much it's really changed their life, because they couldn't wax, they couldn't shave, they've been scarred or burnt by laser, and they have eczema or psoriasis, or they have really thick hair. And so we get all the people who are just like, finally I found something for me.
Yeah. Can you do men heads?
So I have done a man's head before, and I have to say, after that, no, we say from brows to toes. We do the forehead too, but the head hair is a whole nother beast. And if you're losing,
right?
But the rest of it is still really strong and thick. So we've definitely everywhere else. And also the beard. We typically don't do the beard depending on a man's like root system if it's crossed, because we wouldn't want them to have irritation, but we do the neck.
You won't do this area?
Oh, we do that, like under the eye to right here. But
this area, I have hair that I shave, and they say you're not supposed to shave here. You're supposed to wax, but I've been doing it for years. And I don't see any problem with it.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Men age 10 years slower than women because they shave their face every day. So they're getting all that exfoliation consistently.
Yeah. Interesting fact.
Older, our dead skin cells build up. And
do you recommend start shaving everywhere?
Start hitting the forehead.
That's very close here.
No. That's great.
All right. That's great. You mentioned about fear. Fear is there and is ingrained in us subconsciously, but it was very important back in the day, because at any point we could get eaten by a big monster in the jungle, right? That doesn't exist anymore. So to day-to-day life, to have that lingering fear with you all the time, it only demotivates us. It keeps us back from taking action, believing in ourselves. So it turns out to be a negative attribute, especially for entrepreneurs and business people. And the more you start becoming aware of your thoughts and your emotions, you start realizing that, oh, wait a minute, these are just emotions. They're just thoughts that were with me my whole life, and they don't have an effect on me anymore. So we create that gap. And that's when you start realizing, wait a minute, I held myself back so long just because of these thoughts and emotions were just making me feel a certain way. And they're just conditioning from my past. It doesn't represent who I truly am and what I can do. That moment when that shifts, oh man,
Yeah.
Watch out, world.
Yes. Can't listen to the mind chatter. And
No.
the thing, you have to look at it like when you do go for something, and if it doesn't work out, it's educate or celebrate. It's not stop and don't
Yes.
and I even had that when I came back from Charleston. I took my 50 grand and I put my money into a little space in Solana Beach and got the space ready, did all the things, spent all my money, but my heart wasn't in it yet. I wasn't ready because of the change that happened. But so miraculously, I had a call from someone if I wanted to come help them up in LA. And on the same day, someone called me and asked me if my space was available. And I'm like, you know what? I just put all this money into it and all this time and effort. But you know what? I'm ready for the next thing and the next change. And it was the best decision I ever made, was just walking away from that and moving up to Santa Monica and starting Sugaring LA, not even knowing that's what I was going to be doing. I look at everything happens in this life for a reason, and you just have to keep moving through. And I am a gut person. There's the head.
Yes, same here.
I'm like the feeling strong. And yeah, I think now that I've had children, it's, oh, wait, I have to take all of this into consideration too before I just steamroll all my projects, because it's about how do I split my time? And because I give so much to what I'm doing, I need to make sure I'm giving to my children this amount of time when I'm spending my time and I'm not distracted with the other things. You know, it's a challenge in life of how do I split myself up throughout the day.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think we're going to be great friends when you talk about gut feeling, because I live by it. Feeling, massive action, feeling massive, like that's what I've been doing. And like you mentioned, effortless is basically effortless action, where the action doesn't feel like action anymore like it used to. I should dread the smallest things, the bigger thing. It doesn't matter. Just work was work. Even if it was my own business, when I felt that I started becoming kind of like an employee, because I was so busy because I was working in the business. I just didn't know. I said, what the hell is this? I left 9 to 5 and I'm way more busier. I don't need to see my kids. What's going on? I didn't know. It's just when you hit rock bottom in my situation, then you start realizing, wait a minute, there's something not right here. And it looks like you are what we call a unconscious competent, meaning you are naturally in tune to this, or you went through some mindset training. Would you like to share?
I would say it's definitely just in tune. I never went through any training except the hard knocks of life.
Yeah.
Even if I touch and I get burned, I keep going back and trying different ways and seeing what's gonna work, and being thoughtful and methodical in that at the same time, and not letting the doubt or the fear creep in, but having a good amount of analysis. I think of now, when I look back, I'd be like, Jamie, to my counterpart, I'd say, we need to do this. Let's get this done. And she'd be like, and she's very the type A. And I love that about her, because she's okay, wait, Danielle, we have the system and the process that I have to go into the back end and make sure all the IT stuff is set up. And I'm just like, let's do this. So it's funny. It's nice almost to have somebody who is the opposite of you, who can, I can be like the thought visionary, we need to get this done, and my mind's always going, and then somebody who can also help implement that and the system that might need to be in place to support that. So which is why I love franchising, right? I can now continue to advance and think of new creative ideas for the brand, and then I have a team behind me that has everything down to the little nitty gritty documented. There's like a brain of Sugaring LA that the franchisees get to go in and really have all the tools and resources at their disposal for how Sugaring LA operates.
Yeah, it's beautiful to create a niche product and make it successful. So kudos to you. I'm very happy for you. I wish you all the growth in what you're doing, because the more franchises you provide to people, the better their life will become. It's all linked. And if it's something that is niche based, and I'm sure there's going to be other brands that are going to come up with this, and obviously might be even out, like your friend has a few in Canada. And it's all about sustainability. It's all about natural green as we progress, especially the newer generations, like Generation Z. Is that? Yeah, like they're very strict. Yeah, very strict about policies and like
where they
earth
spend
and green and
Yes, they like secondhand, they like thrifting, they like sustainability, they like zero waste, and that is sugaring. We have gloves, we have one ball of caramel that goes onto you, and it's extremely sanitary, it's biodegradable. Our skincare line is simple organic ingredients, no seed oils. No one's doing that in the industry on a large scale and
Yeah.
making high quality products, ingredients at affordable prices, offering services like this. And we're
Mm.
also gender friendly. Like, you can be a man walking in and it's not pink and red and everyone looks at you weird. What are you doing
You
here?
know, you're not going to be doing one of these,
Exactly. You're welcome.
judging. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's comfortable and inviting for everybody.
I bet you guys will be surprised if I walk in 6'4".
Football players who come in and get full bodies done in Santa
Oh,
Monica.
wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I mean,
So you mentioned new ideas. Innovation is a big part of what you do to stay ahead because remember, each being is so powerful they could change the world. Having this niche product, there's going to be other innovations that are going to come out. Do you meditate to come up with new ideas, innovations, or you just think it?
I think about it and I get a lot of good thinking done before I go to bed. And if I take
Okay.
a bath and when I don't have a device in my hand, I get a lot of good thinking done when it's just quiet. And sometimes it's hard when you're in the thick of it and the minutia of all the
Mm.
things around you. And if I'm too deep in all of the little things that everyone else is already taking care of and I just want to know about them, but then I'm thinking
Hmm.
about them too. Try and
Hmm.
step away a little bit from that so I can stay in that innovative space.
Hmm. Okay, good. If you're looking back at your journey, can you share any advice to entrepreneurs or especially women to help them if they're looking to introduce a niche service or product into a competitive market like this, to bring something new?
Yeah.
Any advice from what you have learned that could help someone?
Yeah, I think don't be afraid to have others around you who are good at what you're not good at. And I definitely know my strengths and my wheelhouse
Be
and
okay with it.
what I enjoy, because I
Mm.
want to enjoy life. Like, quality of life is number one. And so there were things I didn't love doing in the business, like the behind the desk or the IT part.
It's
I had
everything.
no problem hiring somebody and getting someone who was the right person for that job who enjoyed it. So I could focus on what I enjoy and continue to drive that. I would say that is something. Definitely don't be afraid of that. Don't feel like you need to do everything
Okay.
and have to control everything.
How much control do we really have? I feel
Yeah.
we can plan, like we had to plan a direction and shift it. And it happens all the time, especially in business. And we want to go one direction, but some things happen where we go somewhere else. But I feel like it's just dependent, very much so, on the energy that we hold, because everything is
Yes.
energy. So if we're optimistic, enthusiastic, grateful, joyful, happy, fulfilled in the present moment, we will
Yes.
start seeing better things happen, but the direction might not be where you thought you're going to end up. So
And it's trickle
having that
down.
openness and just
Yeah.
not having the fear and take the action. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yes. And your energy is the tip of the pyramid, right? And that
Yeah.
waters down through your whole organization. And so make
Yes.
sure if it's not you, your second in hand can embody you, right? And then your staff
Yeah.
embodies you. And so I think that for me has been a big thing in my organization of I treat people how I would want to be treated, even though I'm a boss, right? I'm going to be able to lead. I remember having those jobs where I was like, "Yeah, I would never want to work for someone like that. And I would never want to be that person." And I think it just cultivates a great culture. And that is so important in a business and industry, is having a good culture in your brand.
Yeah. Yeah. Having the proper emotional intelligence in an organization is
Yeah.
super important,
Yeah.
because no one wants to go somewhere where they're unhappy. But
No.
it could be that they go to employment where everything is amazing. They have all the systems in place to take care of the employees. But foundationally, the employee itself could just not be happy. That happens a
Oh,
lot too. So you can do whatever
absolutely.
you can. They're just
Yes.
not going to be content.
You are
So I think mindset should be very important part of an organization.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
everything, because they're also the ones servicing your clients and
Yeah.
to
It
uphold.
shows.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I love my industry because I look at it like I'm empowering these women. Typically, women are practitioners, are licensed estheticians or cosmetologists. They're learning a new skill that we're teaching them, and they can get a job anywhere in the world with this skill. And I love how they have opportunity to advance and grow and feel challenged, but also have like great work hours. And I offer my employees at my studios health benefits, like things that aren't typical in our industry that really give them the leg up, and they're going to be with you a lot longer because you're investing in them and they care. It shows you care.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So can you share that number one strategy? It's strategy time. Can you share that one main strategy that helped you scale? And you can take a minute to think about it, but something that could help someone, something that was transformational.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I do it like a lot of people, but I am now more be careful what you wish for kind of person, because if I start thinking about it too much and then I just start looking for a space, and then like I'll start creating it in my mind, and then it just starts to say, "Oh, okay, God's like, you want that? Okay, I'm going to give it to you."
Yeah.
But make sure this is what you really want. Make sure you maintenance, upkeep, and support it. Make sure if you create all of these things, which I love doing, but you do have to take care of them, right? Or you have to build them up and sell it. So maybe having a plan more long term of what you want to do with it and laying that out. And
But did you run ads, Facebook ads, or anything like that to scale your business quickly? Or was it just word of mouth explosion?
When I did it, it was word of mouth explosion and Yelp.
Beautiful.
Got started, but now that is not, we can't do that in our states where people don't know sugaring or sugaring LA yet. And so it is be on the digital marketing, community events, really becoming a staple in your community and educating people about what sugaring is and all the benefits and how much better it is than waxing, and just really getting them in the door to try something for the first time. Because if it's not a friend telling you to try it for the first time, you're like, you might be a little more weary or scared. So yeah, for us, it was just that really organic growth. So we were very lucky, especially in LA, to be able to have so much success. But you also have to maintain that success, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so a lot of that is dependent on having excellent service, making sure the staff is educating, you're rebooking appointments, because every person, when you are doing digital ads, they cost you anywhere from probably $9 to $23 a click, right? So what is your staff doing? Are they trained really well to be able to give 100% to that client and do all the steps that they're trained to do, which is making sure that client comes back in the door. So that is definitely a large focus for us, is making sure everybody is giving just excellent service from A to Z.
No, it's wonderful.
Wow.
Danielle, it was great talking to you. Being in LA, you must be catering to Hollywood as well.
We do. Yes, we definitely do.
Because it's natural, right? It's healthy too, what you do.
Yeah. And we also sugaring, even for people who've had laser, like Gwyneth Paltrow is one of our clients, and she'll come in and see anybody.
Who is it?
Gwyneth Paltrow. Iron Man.
I don't actually know her, so I'm sorry.
But she's lovely. And
I'm bad with names, by the way. It's not her. It's just I can't remember the actors. I watched them and my kids laugh.
I know.
That's the name. I go, I don't focus on that. I just look at the art. I'm just looking at what they're doing in the moment.
Yes. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, I know. And Rod of Luke. We definitely have some clients who just love sugaring and love supporting our brand. And it's really great. We do love to keep most of their privacies.
Love it. Love it, Danielle. Thank you so much for coming on our show today and giving your time and energy.